this video, I'm going to share with you 10 powerful questions that I use to weed out poor salespeople. No pens, no gimmicks, just straightforward insights that reveal who's got what it takes to succeed in your industry, in your company. So let's understand, sales has the highest turnover of any industry on the planet at more than 30%. And it seems like that turnover is always the 50% of people who can't sell. So you need to stick around, and I'm going to share with you those 10 questions that you can use to weed out the people who shouldn't be in your company. Let's understand something. Most sales managers rely on outdated methods. Like, hey, sell me this pen, why don't you? But those tactics are just too easy to game because everybody's out there doing it. So instead, these 10 questions are going to expose real weaknesses, identify top performers every single time. So think about it this way. Have you ever hired a sales rep who seemed perfect? In the interview, it failed miserably in the job. We hear all the time from managers and leaders this exact quote: I think salespeople are better at selling themselves than they'll ever be at selling my product or service. I used to rely on kind of those classic interview questions and personality tests. But after a string of bad hires way back in the day, I realized I needed to change my approach. We continue to kind of bang our head against the wall, executing and doing the exact same things we've always done that have not led us to success when it comes to hiring a sales staff. I can tell you that in my case, I had a case where I had 3-4 misfires in a row, where I really thought these people were ready to go, where they were going to succeed in the company, and they had what it took to be on my sales team. So why is this important? Let's understand, because hiring the wrong salespeople doesn't just cost you time and money. It can actually damage your team, their culture, and don't forget about the pure opportunity cost by the time they should have been succeeding in sales in their territory. And not only that, if they're not that great, what is the impact they're having on your company's reputation as they go and talk to your prospects and your clients? So if you're still using generic interview questions, you're likely missing the red flags that signal poor sales performance. So we're going to jump into how you can go about using these questions in order to properly identify those who should and shouldn't be on your corporate sales bus. As we start to go into these 10 questions that you must use to separate the high performers from those who are not going to perform for you, think about one thing. There's a difference between changing your questions or changing your questions in order to elicit a specific response so that you can measure it for what you're looking for. So as we go through these 10 questions, we're going to talk about what it is that we're actually looking for from the salespeople, what answers make sense, and how you can actually view these in the context of success within your own company. So let's jump in. Question 1, tell me about a time you failed to close a deal. What did you learn? Now, this seems just very self-evident, and it seems like a nice, easy question. The truth is, most salespeople aren't going to be able to give you a really good answer, because the best salespeople look at failure as an opportunity to learn and grow, not as a defeat. So we want to look for answers that show self-awareness, accountability, clear lessons learned, and actions they took to rectify the situation to improve in the future. Question 2, how do you prepare for a sales call? Oh, and this is a doozy, because this one's going to tell you how serious they take their job and representing you in front of others. There's an epidemic in the world of sales right now due to Zoom and the post-COVID thing, where we just kind of show up and throw up. And that's not how you prepare to sell on a regular basis. Great salespeople don't just wing it. Average salespeople wing it. So we want to know that we're looking for answers that details of specific steps that they take to understand the client, anticipate objections, and to tailor their pitch to the things that may matter to the person they're talking to now. Question number 3, can you describe a time when you lost a customer? What did you do next? Think about how great that question is. How did you respond to the adversity? This question tests the resilience, the problem-solving skills of how they handle setbacks and what actions do they take. Because the ability to bounce back from a loss is critical in sales. If it were a sport and you got 3 out of 10 sales, which by the way is kind of a good enterprise number of closing 3 out of 10 deals, you would actually be an all-star. But that means 7 out of 10 times we're going to have a setback, not to mention the day-to-day things that happen. So you want to look for candidates who can not only address the loss, but also take proactive steps to prevent it from happening again. Question 4, what motivates you in sales? Understanding a candidate's motivations can help you determine if they're driven by the right factors, such as passion for the job, client success, not just money. Now, the RevHeat proprietary research from 2023, we wanted to answer the question, can you build the perfect salesperson? And in doing so, we analyzed over 12,000 people and their sales skills. And what we found out about motivation was just incredibly interesting. 49% of the top 10% of performers, so half the people who kill it in sales, were intrinsically motivated, not extrinsically motivated. So if you think you're just going to put a great comp plan in place, throw a quarter in somebody's back and watch them run through a wall, we need to rethink the way you think about it as well. Because intrinsic motivation often leads to sustained success in sales. Because extrinsic motivation may not be enough. Now, don't get me wrong, they like the money and the comp plan matters. But intrinsic motivation, how they fit in the culture and how they're able to serve really, really matters. So look for answers that show there's a genuine passion for helping clients and solving problems. Question 5. Give me an example of a creative solution you've used to close a tough deal. This question reveals a candidate's ability to think outside the box and adapt to challenging situations. Because that's what sales is. No buyer is exactly the same because the companies are different and so are the people involved in every single one of those deals. So we want to actually kind of think about creativity as a game changer. We believe 75% of sales success is based on frameworks and processes and systems. Here's the kicker though. The other 25%, that's the art of sales. That's how you go about executing it and the critical thinking skills that you bring to the world every single day. So we want to look for examples that demonstrate innovation and the ability to tailor certain solutions to clients' needs. Number 6, how do you handle rejection? Because as we said, there's a lot of it in sales. Sales is one of the most difficult positions that you can put somebody in the world because they're selling internally, they're selling externally. Sales is full of rejection. So it's vital to know if a candidate can handle it without losing motivation or confidence. And it's even more critical if you're expecting them to be a hunter or a prospector instead of somebody who's just working your existing accounts, because that's rejection upon rejection upon rejection. And the only payoff is getting a discovery call. So that resilience is a key trait of successful salespeople. They don't take rejection personally. And what we're looking for are responses that indicate a positive mindset and strategies for moving past that rejection. Question 7. What's the most challenging sale you've ever made? This question gives insights into the candidate's experience and their ability to overcome obstacles. What we want to know is that difficult sales situations reveal a salesperson's skill level, tenacity, and to some extent character. So look for detailed examples that show perseverance, creativity, and strategic thinking. Now, the 8th question, how do you stay current with industry trends and developments? And one of the most overlooked things happening in sales today is our ability to tie industry trends to how they're impacting our clients, or to tie things across the level between we've seen this with 7 other clients. Oh, that may mean that it's happening with this particular prospect. Great salespeople are always learning and staying ahead of the curve. This question tests their commitment to continuous improvement. So understand that staying informed is not a nice to have. It's a must have in these rapidly changing markets that we are experiencing today. So you want to look for candidates who actively seek out information and apply it in their sales strategies. Question 9. How do you build and maintain relationships with clients? Now, in this less personal age that we've entered in the last 5 years, some people might try to argue that personal relationships matter less than they ever have. And I would argue that's the exact reason why they matter more. Sales isn't just about closing deals. It's about building lasting relationships where you can earn your status as a trusted advisor. Think of it. How many people do you know who you'd consider a trusted advisor who you don't actually like being around? It's probably very few. So the importance of building trust and rapport and understanding that we can actually build relationships is massive. So look for answers that demonstrate empathy, consistency, and a client-first mentality. Finally, question number 10. Why do you want to work in sales? Oh, that's a big one. This question helps you understand if the candidate is in sales for the right reasons and if they have the passion needed to succeed. Because if they say, I just want to make money, first of all, they're not being honest with you or themselves. Although that's a part of it, it's not the primary driver. A genuine interest in sales rather than just the paycheck is often a predictor of long-term success. So look for enthusiasm and a clear understanding of what a sales role entails and what excites them about being in the profession. To recap, we've covered 10 questions which are going to help you weed out your poor salespeople from those who can actually succeed. Things like, what do you learn from failure? How do you recover from losing a customer? What motivates you? How do you close tough deals creatively? How do you handle rejection? What was your toughest sale? How do you build relationships? How do you stay current on industry trends? And why do you want to work in sales? These are critically important, and we want to know these are designed to dig deep and reveal the true potential of candidates, not just their surface level skills. I can tell you that when we actually go through and work with our clients on a hiring process using our STAR program, which is the Sales Talent Acquisition Routine, we can dig deeper than just the skills because our assessment is based on the 21 core selling competencies. So you're not even getting into the interview unless we know that you have the skills. And so therefore, we have to go a level deeper than that to figure out what the potential of the candidate is to succeed in our industry and our organization. And the Sales Talent Acquisition Routine does such a great job that it's got over a 91% rate of hiring people who are in the top half of all performers in the first year. So we get to dig deep because we're not trying to figure out whether or not they can hunt, sell consultatively. We don't need to know those types of things. We need to know how they think, what motivates them, and how they're driven. Those are the things that become critically important. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to dive deeper into advanced interview techniques that can transform your hiring, or a process that can give you better success, reduce turnover, and get you sellers who are going to hit the ground running, just comment STAR in the comments. And then what we'll do is we'll shoot off a little PDF to you that has a little bit about what our STAR program looks like and why it's so successful in today's markets. Stay tuned, hit subscribe, hit like, share the video, follow us on LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram. Let us know, ring that bell, and stay around because our whole mission is to help you stay sales fit.